In order to prepare a tooth for a crown, you can start with making gauge grooves on the occlusal surface. The gauge grooves can be on cusp crests or in anatomical grooves. Use round-end tapered burr and make sure that you know the diameter of the burr. If you want to prepare tooth number 19 for an all-metal crown, you will need 1 mm reduction on lingual cusps and 1.5 mm reduction on buccal cusp. Start with the grooves which are less deep to allow for more reduction during finishing. When you're connecting the grooves, do your best to maintain occlusal anatomy and once in a while, close down the model and check the occlusal clearance. As you can see, this video is being played faster, so take your time, prep the top on gently and sneakily so that you avoid burning the tooth and reducing it massively. Neither of these problems are reversible. Please note the direction of the burr here. It is held parallel to the cusp slopes to maintain occlusal anatomy. Next step is preparing functional cusp bevel. To prepare the bevel, hold the handpiece with a 45-degree tilt. Check the buccal slopes of adjacent teeth and try to have the burr parallel to them. In this video, the grooves for the bevel and buccal axial reduction are being done at the same time. You can complete functional cusp bevel and then start buccal reduction, or you can prepare functional cusp bevel after buccal and lingual reduction. Please notice the direction of the burr. Here's a point on buccal reduction of upper posterior teeth. In preparing upper molars, you should notice that you do not have a buccal functional cusp. Therefore, you won't have buccal functional cusp bevel. But instead, you should prepare secondary plane of reduction, which is less tilted than functional cusp bevel. Secondary plane of reduction is done to follow the anatomy of buccal surface and to make enough room for the crown. As you saw a moment ago, the direction of lingual wall and long axis of the tooth was checked before starting buccal reduction. Since the burr is tapered, if you hold the burr parallel to long axis of the tooth, the axial walls will have enough convergence. If you do not hold the handpiece correctly, you will produce an undercut or you will have over-tapered axial walls. Chamfer is the best option for all metal crown margin. Depth of the chamfer should be 0.5 mm all around the tooth. Start with preparing a margin 1 mm above the gingival margin and later on drop it down to 0.5 mm above gingiva. Do the same for lingual surface. Be careful with the depth of the reduction, taper of the walls, location of the margin, and depth of the chamfer. Now it's time to prepare proximal walls. There are two important points about proximal reduction. One is that you should be careful not to cut adjacent teeth, and the other one, make sure that you break proximal contacts well. At the end of preparation, you should be able to move the explorer freely between the teeth. In this video, wooden wedge and matrix band are used to avoid nicking adjacent teeth. First, you should start with an ultra-thin burr and then change it to a larger one when there is enough room for it. The same is being done for distal wall. And at the end, make sure that all line angles are rounded and there aren't any sharp edges between different planes. Here you can see a completed prep for an all-metal crown.